Hello everyone and welcome to the first Broadway vlog of 2018. I literally got to New York City about an hour ago, if that, and I've got into my hotel, I've unpacked some bits, I've freshened up, and now I'm going to go out to grab some food and then I'm going to see Wicked on Broadway. It's my second time seeing Wicked on Broadway. I saw it back in 2015 when Rachel Tucker was in the cast because obviously, and I just thought, you know what, I kind of fancy seeing it on Broadway again, so that's what I'm doing and I'm very, very excited. Cannot wait to be in a Broadway theatre again. Oh my goodness.
What's this?
I am now in the theatre. Can you believe it? I'm public vlogging. The bravery. I really like this theatre, even though it's like so modern in the foyer. Like the actual auditorium itself is gorgeous. Interrupted there by people wanting to go into the row. Yeah, it's a gorgeous theatre. The seats are really comfortable. Really appreciate that. Obviously, I got my playbill. I'm very excited about that. I love that Wicked is still successful enough to have a colour playbill. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? But I am grateful. And yeah, the show's going to start in a couple of minutes, so I need to get my glasses out, get my water ready, and I will catch up with you either in the interval or after the show. Hopefully during the interval. I was a bit rushing to get here, so yes, standard Rukaya procedure. But yeah, I'm really excited. I can't wait to see Jackie Burns as Elphaba. I feel like she's like one of the sort of legacy Elphabas, and now I'm going to see her, which is mad. And I've heard good things about Amanda Jane Cooper as Glinda as well, so hopefully should be really good. tell you how happy it makes me that Rachel is still outside the Gershwin. I mean, thank God she's actually in London though, because I can't afford her to be in shows in New York, but you know, it makes me happy. It kind of feels like I'm in Zurich again, in that I'm spending part of the vlog on the hotel room floor. But this time I'm in New York and not Zurich, and I've just seen Wicked at the Gershwin Theatre and not Theatre 11. There are some similarities, obviously, same show. Yes, I just got back from the Gershwin Theatre. I did go to the stage door afterwards, but one of the stage door guys came out and said that no one was coming out, which was very odd. I can only presume that they're maybe, I don't know, having a party for some reason or something, I don't know. Or they just knew that because of how cold it is, like, oh my goodness, the temperature dropped so much between going into the theatre and coming out of it. Like, I didn't clock the temperature before going in, but I'd say it was above 0, and it was definitely below 0 leaving the theatre, so yeah, it was really cold. So I'm grateful that they didn't let everyone stay there for ages and then be like, lol, no one's coming out, because that would have been really bad because it's so cold. And obviously when you've got like young kids waiting out in the cold as well, that's not nice. Sorry, I've moved you around a little bit because my arm was hurting. So yeah, no stage door tonight, but I will try and go to the Wicked stage door another night during this trip, because it would be nice to meet, especially Jackie. I'd really like to meet Jackie, that would be fun. So yeah, that'll be something I do at some point, I am sure. Obviously, I have a lot of thoughts about the show. I didn't get to chat to you in the interval because it was like a 15-minute interval or something. Like, Broadway intervals are so quick, so I wanted to go around and like obviously get loads of shots and stuff, so I didn't chat, but I will more than make up for that in the chatty section of the vlog, because you guys know what I'm like. So yes, I will sign off for now. And then the next time you see me in this vlog will probably be when I'm at home, which is mad to say because it's literally the first night of my trip here. To already be saying like, oh, see you when I'm at home, feels really weird, but I will. So yeah, see you then. Hello everyone, welcome back to the chatty section of the vlog. As you saw, I went to see Wicked on Broadway for the second time. Definitely not the second time I've seen the show overall, but the second time on Broadway. The first was back in 2015, and that was when Rachel Tucker had joined the Broadway cast as Elphaba and Cara Lindsay was Glinda. And I thought, obviously it's been a couple of years and it's a new pairing, it's, you know, it's new kind of everything apart from the show. So I thought, why not take a little trip to the Gershwin Theatre again and see the show. Also because the last time I saw Wicked on Broadway, I was not like a full-on YouTuber, so I thought it would be quite nice to take a trip there and actually kind of document it for the vlog. I spoke about how I bought the tickets to see Wicked and also the tickets to see all of the shows that I saw out in New York. So if you want to find out how I purchased the tickets and yada yada yada, it'll be in the video that's linked up here and in the description. As I mentioned, I've seen the Broadway production before, so I kind of knew what I was getting myself into, but also I've obviously seen the London production a lot, and I've seen the new UK tour, well, a few times back in the past, not the new one, obviously the previous UK tour, and the current one I've now seen twice. So I thought that it would be quite nice to revisit the Broadway production because they are all quite different. And at some point this year, I want to do a video chatting you through as many of the differences between the three productions as I can. I want to make that really good, I won't lie. So that probably won't be out for a while, but hopefully at some point this year, that'd be great. I will mention some of the differences obviously in this vlog because a few people have asked about them. So obviously the production of Wicked on Broadway is the OG. It's the original full production anyway. So the staging is a bit different in some aspects just due to the nature of the Gershwin Theatre. I think for me personally, one of the biggest differences obviously apart from the fact that it's in a completely different theatre that I'm used to, is the way that they have the stage not sort of set up. I'm not really sure exactly how to describe this, but basically at the front of the stage where they have the little cog bits that come out, there's a ramp that goes down, and then also there's like a sort of trap door so the ramp can go further down, like below the stage. So that's visually and straight away one of the biggest differences that they have in the Broadway production. They use this ramp for especially, do they use it in the classroom scene, when the Lion Cub scene? I can't remember off the top of my head, but they definitely use it in Defying Gravity. They use it as them like going up into the attic, and the broom appears from there as well, because obviously they put whoever's playing Elphaba will put the broom down into the ramp trapdoor section to act as if they're barricading the door there. So visually that's kind of the biggest difference, I think. In terms of other things, there's obviously like certain differences with the words, because some literally just individual words are swapped out for words that are better received for the British audience, and obviously some words work better with the American audience. So for example, they swap out, I think we have tutorial, my sorcery tutorial. Yes, that sounds right. And they have sorcery seminar, and there's a few different ones that are just kind of swapped out for the ease of the audience understanding. It's just a quite an interesting language thing. I think it's interesting, but nothing huge. It's just if you're used to seeing the British production and you see that one, you'll be like, well, they got a word wrong, but they didn't. It's just a different word. Obviously the accents are different, and that always throws me. I definitely prefer Wicked in a British accent. I don't like it done in the American accents. I think it's why I pretty much never listen to the actual cast recording nowadays. I genuinely cannot remember the last time I listened to it, because oh god, it just sounds awful. Don't hate on me for saying that, it's just my opinion, but it's just different. It's really different for me. In terms of more specific things, we've got things like, for example, when Fiyero enters for like the pre-dancing through life bit, instead of it just being Averick pulling him in on his little what do you call that, sort of like a cart? Yeah, a cart, I guess. I don't know, there's got to be a word for that. Averick is actually on like a horse thing. Like, did you ever have those little the little horses on the sticks when you were a kid, and they had like a wheel at the bottom so you could like pretend that you were riding a horse? It's kind of like that, but bigger. It's got like proper moving legs and everything in a small body. So that's weird. I laughed quite a lot when that appeared, because I totally forgot about that. It just looks ridiculous. So there's that. And also they use the bridge a lot more, the bridge that comes down for like I'm Not That Girl and the train station scene and Thank Goodness. So in the train station scene, they actually have the station master and a couple of passengers like walking along the bridge, which I really enjoy actually. For that scene, we have the station master on one of the staircases, the stairwells on the right hand side. But I think it's a nicer dynamic in a way to have them like above the scene. And they also do sort of a similar thing in Thank Goodness, where the three Aussians that come to the front of the stage and they do the whole I hear she has an extra eye that always remains awake, that whole bit, the three Aussians there are up on the bridge. So I liked that. I think it looked really good, and I'm not sure why we don't do that in London, because I don't know, it's interesting to have those like the layers on stage in a way. I really enjoyed it. I'd forgotten from the last time seeing it that they did that. Talking of the like stairwell bits on the side, on the left hand side as you're looking at it, they actually have like an extra platform. So in London we've got just 2 spots that people can stand. So obviously like stairs, 1 spot, stairs, another spot, and they've got the same on the right hand side as you're looking at it, but then they've got an extra level on the top. So where actually one of the, I think it's either the person who operates the dragon wings, the time dragon, or probably more likely a lighting operator sits at the top. I don't know why, I always notice them before the show. It's kind of like a little thing. I look up and I see if they're there, and I'm like, right, the show's about to start in a second. It's just a weird little thing I do. But yeah, there was a guy all the way up there as well, which kind of surprised me. I was like, whoa, an extra person higher up than they should be. What else was different? Oh yeah, so the cog pieces that we have that sort of frame the stage, on Broadway, they actually move in and out, which was really interesting. I don't remember that I must have just forgotten everything apart from Rachel Tucker the last time I saw it on Broadway, let's be real. So yeah, they move in and out, which was really great actually. Obviously sometimes it makes more sense for them to be there. For example, like I think they were there for the For Good scene and like where it's all castle-y and stuff, but for some of that outside scenes it might not work as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed that actually, and yeah, I don't know why, but I really noticed them. Something else weird that I noticed was that one of the ensemble members had like a bright green pair of boots. I think it was green, yeah, and it was in Dancing for Your Life, and I just couldn't stop looking at those shoes because I was like, do we have those in London? I feel like I've never been this distracted by a pair of boots before. One more thing that I'm going to mention, because I've been rambling on for ages about just the differences of the shows. So as I mentioned earlier, the way they do the sort of broom sequence in Defying Gravity is different. So obviously you've got the ramp going down into the trapdoor. Elphaba takes the broom down there and blocks it. And then when the broom comes out, it's really a bit anticlimactic, I think, in comparison with the way we have it in London, because in London, the Elphaba will run into the wings, and that's like barricading the door, and then so the broom appears from the wings and it like actually flies and it looks magical. Whereas on Broadway, the broom just sort of mostly appears out of the ramp and then is like obviously moving like this, but you can't see the bottom of the broom, so it's kind of like, you know, someone could just be standing under the broom and just like wiggling it, and like so yeah, I felt like that was a bit sort of anticlimactic. One more thing that I'm going to mention, which is not really relevant, but I don't know how to describe them. I want to say like trellis pieces that move in and out, you know what I mean if you've seen the show. So yeah, the things that will come in and they have like, for example, the popular shoes and Elphaba's typewriter, etc. Or the thing that Elphaba puts her suitcase on in Wisdom Eye. In London, we've just got 2. On Broadway, they have 4. So I think it's just probably because the stage is maybe deeper. I don't know the dimensions of the stage. You'd think, me being such a crazy fangirl, I would know something like that, but I don't. So yeah, that was something else that I noticed on this trip. There's probably other things that I've forgotten about, but so far, that's what I can remember. Anyway, enough about the differences between the shows. Let's talk about the cast. So Jackie Burns was playing Elphaba and Amanda Jane Cooper was playing Glinda. Jackie Burns, I feel like, is a household name in the Wicked community. I kind of feel like she's a bit of a legacy Elphaba, and I thought, you know what, if I can see Jackie Burns, why not? Let's see her. Let's add her to the list. So yeah, it was quite nice actually as well, because it worked out that they were both new entries to my lists of Elphas and Glindas, and they were both number 15, so that was satisfying. I've not really listened to Jackie Burns' Elphaba since like my hardcore fangirl days, where I would like actively seek out audios. Nowadays I'm way more chill about anything like that really, so I hadn't really remembered what she sounded like. I've listened to quite a bit of her from like If Then. That's something that I kind of know her voice from more, but yeah, Wicked, can't remember, to be honest. And then I'd heard good things about Amanda Jane Cooper because I think she only recently finished doing one of the national tours, and then I think she might have gone straight into Broadway. Could be wrong there, I don't know, but yeah, I know she did the tour, but still I hadn't really heard a huge amount of what her Glinda was like. I think for something like this, with a show like Wicked, where I know it so well, I know it so well in London, it's automatically hard for me to adjust to the Broadway production, because I'm like, whoa, accents, whoa, different words, whoa, like different theatre, different audience. There's a lot, and I think the audience definitely makes a difference, because It's nice that they are so excited, but also I'm like, please, can you just calm down a sec? Like, I love The Wizard and I for getting to know an Elphaba, and it's really hard to do that when an audience is just cheering before a performer's finished the song. Like, please, can I just hear the end of the song? So that drove me mad. But yeah, I did enjoy Jackie Burns in terms of her vocals. Obviously, she knows what she's doing with the role. She's done it quite a bit. So yeah, I did overall enjoy her performance as Elphaba. She's definitely not one of my favourites, but I wasn't offended by any of it. Something really different with her Elphaba that I've not really heard in any other Elphaba, I feel like it's quite a bit of vibrato. I hope that's the right way to describe how she sings it. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on singing, but there was definitely something about her voice that was completely different to any other Elphaba that I've heard. It's not necessarily a bad thing, not necessarily a good thing. It's just different. Considering it's been a while since she last did Elphaba, this is going to sound really bad, but she didn't seem too old for the role, which was nice. Sometimes you get performers where you're like, it's not even believable that you're playing a teenager, but I felt like I could sort of believe that about Jackie Burns, which was nice. I feel like on Broadway, they are allowed to do so much. So obviously there were like some fun riffs thrown in here and there. And yeah, her voice was really powerful. I wasn't worried at all while watching her. I wasn't thinking like, oh gosh, is she gonna do that okay? Is she gonna, like, you know, there was nothing like that. It was really nice to see her as Elphaba, but as I say, she's not like my favourite. I don't know, I didn't feel like I was as blown away as I thought I was going to be, which is kind of sad in a way. Moving on to Amanda Jane Cooper as Glinda. I did not enjoy her. I hate saying, not necessarily like negative things about people, but you know, it's not nice to come out of a show and think, what? Huh? And that's kind of how I felt while watching Amanda's Glinda. I think, again, this was influenced by being so used to the British accents and the way that I've come to like not expect Elphaba and Glinda to be played. That sounds really like, but I just have this image or this kind of idea of who the characters are, and that's been moulded by seeing the show in London so many times. So for me, the American Glindas can be just wildly different because it's a completely different thing. For me, Amanda's comedy was just kind of a bit all over the place, and her accent as well. So I obviously knew, I was like, right, American accents, that's fine. But her accent seemed to change quite a lot. There were some moments where she'd go into almost like quite a southern accent, and you know, I just couldn't really figure out what her aim was with Glinda, and I feel awful for saying that. I never like saying like negative things about people, but also I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh my god, she was amazing, she was like fantastic, because I personally just did not connect with the way that she is doing Glinda, and that's fine because I've seen obviously online that some people adore her Glinda and they love it, and I'm not going to say that their opinion is wrong or anything. Like, I'm not petty, I'm not gonna do that. But for me, I just did not enjoy her performance. I also thought, this is not anything about Amanda necessarily, but the bubble dress over on Broadway just seems really flat. This is just a random observation that I made throughout the show. I was like, I swear our bubble dress in London is way like grander. It's like, so you know how in the olden days they'd put like a cage, so they'd wear like a cage and then the dress would sit on top of the cage, so it's all nice and like, ooh, grand, look at my big dress, like a princess dress, you know? And I just felt like the Broadway bubble dress was just like, wow. That made me really sad. So yeah, I don't really want to say anything else about Amanda because I feel like if I do, it's just gonna, I'm just gonna get people hating on my opinion, but she wasn't for me, sorry. I kind of feel like I want to end it there because, I don't know, I don't want to be here like, wow, this was different and I didn't like this and blah, blah, blah. Like, this was just obviously my opinion on seeing Wicked on Broadway. I did have a great time overall. I loved seeing the show in New York and the theatre is just insane. Like, I'm so not used to using like an escalator in a theatre, so that's something completely different about the Gershwin. Like, it's a beautiful theatre. I loved obviously seeing all the differences between the shows again, and yeah, I did have a good time. I think it didn't help as well that I literally saw it the first day I got there, so I was probably a bit like, whoa, like disorientated. Obviously the show is fantastic on Broadway. If you're watching this and you've never seen the show before, please don't be dissuaded to go and see it. It's an insane show, like it's so good. I've just seen it too many times and it's probably ruined it for myself. Anyway, I've been chatting for ages, so I'm gonna wrap this up there. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you have. If you've seen the current Wicked cast on Broadway, I would love to know your thoughts. Do let me know in the comments below. I've got a lot of Broadway content still to come, so if you want to know what I got up to in New York, then make sure you're subscribed. And yeah, you can see what I got up to. I hope you're all doing really well, and I will see you very soon. Bye!